Get started. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Cox?
Here.
Mr. Kella?
Here.
Mr. Rosanellis?
Here.
Mr. Shatina?
Here.
Mr. Walden?
Here.
This is the duly advertised meeting of the Joliet Plan Commission for the month of December, year 2014. We've got 4 items on the agenda. We have no requests to move anything up, so if you will, I'll go through the very first one. The first case up is an amendment to an annexation agreement. That's A8-14, and this is for the Laraway Road Distribution Center. The applicant is XL Incorporated, XL Holdings USA. They are the owners of the property. The requested action is the approval of an annexation agreement, and the purpose is for the development in the city as an industrial park. We zone that property I-1 Light Industrial. It's located at the northeast corner of Rowell and Laraway. Surrounding land use and zoning, to the north is residential with an A2 county zoning. To the south is racetrack, which has the I-1. To the east is agriculture with an A1. To the west is industrial with an I-1 city. Size of this parcel is 164 acres. It's currently in industrial use. Site history: a pre-annexation agreement was approved in November 2004, along with the preliminary plat of the subdivision. The property was then approved for annexation and the zoning to I-1, as well as the revised preliminary plat and the final and recording plats in August of '06. XL constructed one 737,000 square foot warehouse distribution building on Lot 1, and that was back in November of '07. Under special information, as part of the original 2004 XL annexation agreement, there were certain terms and conditions set forth regarding the construction of improvements on Laraway and Rowell Avenues. In order to reflect the new roadway design policies the city is now in place, and to coordinate those improvements with similar requirements imposed on the developers of nearby properties in the city, and XL have agreed to modify the annexation agreement as it pertains to design and the phasing of the roadways, and the agreement is attached to this council, or to this staff report. It's so you know what we're talking about. It shall also extend the effective date of the preliminary plat for an additional 2 years, or until XL seeks final plat approval for any part of the unsubdivided portion of the property. All of this was reviewed at the Community Design Review Board on December the 4th. The minutes of that meeting are attached, and that concludes our staff report.
May we have the petitioner, please?
That would be me.
Over to you. Hey, just give your,
Yes, Joe Mazzoni, subbing for Tom Carey,
okay.
who's making lots of money in Las Vegas right now.
You
Anything
hope?
to add?
I've talked with Tom, he gave me a script to read. Hi, my name is Tom Carey. He signed the annexation agreement. Gentlemen, I think you have all of the information that has been reviewed in detail. There was the annexation, the amendment to the annexation agreement, I believe was one of the last things Jeff Plyman did.
It is.
Before he left. And I hope that you don't have any questions for me. We would ask that you would execute the annexation agreement, please.
Thank you. Any questions from the,
Just for Jim, I have a question. Where's the sewer and water?
It's got sewer and water. I mean, it's served by both, and I don't know the exact location of them.
But they have
Bill,
it.
you know, don't you? Laraway Road? Both on the
Is that
same
the
side or
north
opposite
side or
sides?
south side?
Water's on the south, sewer on the north, or the other way around? Okay, both on the north, so right in front of the property.
Okay.
And just so you know,
Talking about a road configuration. What do you
well,
do?
what's ended up happening out there, originally when we laid this out, we were talking about a 5-lane cross-section. So there would have been 2 lanes in each direction in the center turn lane. And what ended up happening in a lot of the industrial areas, we've backed off of that and gone to a 3-lane cross-section, curb and gutter on both sides. And that's kind of what this is. We did that for the Ryan Company's development, Laraway Crossings to the west. And this is really to sort of mirror what we did there, is to adopt this new standard with the smaller profile road. And it's been in the 3-lane configuration for a while now, several years now since the racetrack. Seems to function just fine. And this just memorializes that new requirement.
What's the contiguity there? Is that Laraway the contiguity?
Yeah, we're from the racetrack to the north, and also we've got property, the Ryan development at Laraway Crossings is to the west of it, so you can see the map. There's the contiguity
Get all
map
that
up
stuff
there,
in, it's
so,
all contiguous.
All in, yes.
yeah. So this property is, pretty close to, or kitty corner to the that main entrance, the tunnel entrance to the racetrack, which has been in the city limits since, what, year 2000, I think?
Thank you.
Any other questions from the commission? Any questions from the audience? Okay, hearing none, then a motion's in order for A-8-14.
So move. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Rosenellis?
Aye.
Mr. Shatina?
Aye.
Mr. Walden?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Kella?
Aye. Thank you.
And Tom told me this was going to be hard. Gentlemen, thank you very much and have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, you too.
Same to you.
Next case up, we've got P-1014. That's preliminary plat of the Rock Run Business Park Unit 5G. This is IDI is the applicant. Jeff Smith is the representative for the developer. They are the owner and developer of that land. The requested action is the approval of a one-lot subdivision, and the purpose is to consolidate 2 lots for additional truck parking into 1 lot. Existing zoning is an I-1 light industrial and an I-2 general industrial. It's located on Olympic Boulevard where it turns into Crossroad Drive. Size of the property is 21.68 acres, and it's currently occupied by an industrial warehouse. Surrounding land use and zoning to the north is institutional R1. To the south is industrial I-2. To the east is industrial with an I-1 and an I-2, and to the west is undeveloped with an I-1 and an I-2. Under site history, the subject property was annexed and zoned to R4 and B3 in 1973. It was rezoned to I-1 and I-2 and B3 with the approval of a preliminary plat of the Rock Run Business Park in 1990. The most recent revised preliminary plat was approved in July of '98. Recording plats for units 2, 3, 4, and 5 have previously been approved. The variance for the accessory truck parking area that affects this subdivision was approved by the Zoning Board of Appeals on October the 16th, due to the location not being directly adjacent to the main building. Under special information, the preliminary plat of the Rock Run Business Park Unit 5G will re-subdivide and consolidate 2 previously recorded lots into 1 lot. The approval will allow the proposed 53-stall accessory truck parking area to be combined on the same lot with the adjacent 339,760 square foot warehouse building. The public improvements have been provided as part of the previously recorded unit. All future development is required to adhere to the landscaping and screening ordinance and the development impact fee requirement as per the city ordinance and approved development agreement. The Community Design Review Board reviewed this matter on December 4. The minutes are attached, and that concludes this staff report.
May we have the petitioner in this case, please?
Good afternoon. My name is William Bone with Jacob and Hefner Associates. We're the civil engineer and surveyor for IDI, the petitioner.
Do you have any further information to add?
I do not.
Okay, any questions from the commission?
I do. Jim, with respect to the parking, you're talking about 53 parking spaces in a court. As per, how many do you have now?
Usually, on most warehouse developments, what we've approved by ordinance is they get all the loading docks on the long end of the building. Usually, there'll be loading docks on both sides of the long walls of the building. So you've got the truck parking at those docks, and then we always approve them for trailer parking across from all of those docks. And anytime it's not adjacent to the faces of the long faces of those buildings, we make them get a variance, and they in fact got a variance. You can kind of see it on the bottom here. There's that separate parking area. It just so happened it was on a separate lot, and they're going to configure it so that property will go with this lot for this building. But again, our rules required that they go for the variance. They got that from the Zoning Board of Appeals. We're okay with it. Especially this particular truck parking area is tucked way in the back, kind of along the wetlands that the Forest Preserve has for the Rock Run Creek. So it really is, there's the aerial for it. It's kind of out of sight and out of mind. It's not put in on this particular location, but you can kind of see where it would be. And it is sort of an out-of-the-way location that's not really visible to the motoring public at all. So we're okay with it.
Are you of the understanding this is for their own facilitation of their
Yes.
own? It's not to lease parking spaces to trucks for
No,
$100 a month?
no, it would
or
be for
whatever?
the use of the folks at this warehouse. And if they were to use it for a separate operation, that operation would need to get a special use permit to operate it as a trucking terminal, which would be different than trailer storage.
Okay, so it's for their own function at this
Yes.
point. All right, thank you.
Any other questions from the commission? Any questions from the audience? Okay, hearing none, then a motion is in order for P-10-14.
So order.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Shatina?
Aye.
Mr. Walden?
Aye.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Roosnellis?
Aye.
Mr. Kella?
Aye.
All right, now moving to the other Walmart store, all the way on the other side of town on Route 59, we've got P1114. That's the preliminary plat of the re-subdivision of lots number 1 and 2 of the Walmart subdivision. The applicant in this matter is 4 Points Land Surveying Incorporated, and they are a representative of the owner, that owner being the Walmart Real Estate Business Trust. The developer of this parcel is Murphy Oil USA. The requested action is the approval of a 2-lot subdivision, and the purpose is to increase the Lot 2 dimensions to accommodate a new gas station. This area was zoned a B3 general business when it was brought into the city. It's located on the southwest corner of Route 59 and Theodore Street. Size of the property is 25.68 acres, and it's currently commercial land. Surrounding land use and zoning is commercial B3 and I-1 to the north. To the south is residential and commercial with a combination R4 and B3. To the east is commercial with a B3. To the west is residential with an R4. Under site history, the subject property was annexed and zoned I-1 light industrial and approved with an annexation agreement back in August of '89. An amendment to the annexation agreement was approved in August of '91. It was reclassified to the B3 in 2003 as part of the Walmart subdivision that created 11 lots on 40 acres. Special information, the approval of the preliminary plat of the Walmart re-subdivision will increase Lot 2 by approximately 13,700 square feet in order to allow the construction of a Murphy Oil gas station, and I think we attached the plans for that in your packet. From when the original subdivision was approved, this lot was always intended to be a gas station, but additional property is needed to accommodate Murphy Oil's new footprint. The public improvements have been provided as part of the previously approved recording plat in 2003. The future development is required to adhere to the landscaping and non-residential design standards. It's subject to the development impact fee and water and sewer tap-on fees, as well as the engineering review fee requirements as per the city ordinance. The Community Design Review Board reviewed this matter on December 4, and the minutes are attached, and that concludes the staff report.
May we have the petitioner in this case, please?
Good afternoon. I'm Norm Ellebrock with 4 Points Land Surveying.
Okay, anything to add?
Nope, just here to answer questions.
Okay. Any questions from the commission?
Not me.
At this time, Joe? Okay. So everything's okay on our utilities, I'm assuming? Scott?
I think we're still subject to a couple of small comments.
Okay. But doesn't have to be conditional approval? Again,
Yeah, conditional,
should be conditional, okay.
just a couple of those as well.
Okay. Any questions from the audience? Okay, so a conditional approval is in order for P-11-14.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Walden?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Roosnellis?
Aye.
Mr. Shatina?
Aye.
Mr. Kella?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last case under consideration is a vacation, V614, a vacation of a portion of a Memenus Street located west of 121 South Hunter. The size of the property to be vacated is 50 foot by 55.5 foot. The applicant is St. Pat's Church. The status of the applicant, they are the adjoining property owner on both sides. Requested action is a vacation of a portion of a public street, and the purpose is to allow the connection to an adjoining church-owned parcel. Existing zoning in the area is an R2 single-family zoning district. The location is 121 South Hunter, the west side of Hunter, north of Allen. The easement size is 50 by 55.5. It currently is a vacant grassed area. Surrounding land use and zoning is institutional church and school, zoned R3 to the north. To the south is undeveloped with an R2. To the east is single-family residential with an R2. And to the west is the paved right-of-way and single-family residential zoned R2. Under site history, Memenus Street has historically been utilized by St. Pat's Church for access to the church and school parking lot which is adjacent to Memenus Street. The petitioner is currently in the process of purchasing a vacant city-owned property at 710 Memenus, which is directly south of the proposed street vacation. Under special information, St. Patrick's Church is requesting the partial vacation of Memenus on East-West Street located north of Allen, south of St. Patrick's church parking lot and west of the Hunter Street address. The subject site is a vacant grassed area at present and will remain vacant into the future. The remaining portion of Amenas is a paved right-of-way which is utilized to provide access to several residential garages as well as the church and school. Therefore, only a part of the vacation of the street is requested. The purpose of the street vacation is to connect the church parking lot with the vacant parcel to the south, which the church is acquiring from the city. Joliet Departments of Planning and Public Works have reviewed the request and have no objection to the partial street vacation. ComEd will require a public utility easement over the area to be vacated. Nicor and AT&T have not responded as of the time of the writing of the staff report. And then lastly, the Community Design Review Board minutes are attached, and that concludes our staff report.
May you have the petitioner in this case, please?
Good afternoon. I'm Alicia Takwesh. I'm here to, in lieu of Father Jankowski, who couldn't be here.
Anything to add to the report?
No, not at all.
Okay. Any questions from the commission?
I don't understand the concept there. What are they doing?
Well, what ended up happening is, let's see on the screen right there, the short part of the L, the short fat part of the L is adjacent to a lot that the city owned.
The hammer handle portion?
That part that's not covered in the blue was a
Yeah.
lot that the city owned.
Yeah.
And we didn't take the best care of it. Neighborhood Services would get a contractor out there to cut the weeds on occasion, but invariably, we never did it to the level that it probably should have been.
Did you ever find the city on it?
Pardon me, we should
In the
have
city?
sent ourselves a notice, right?
Oh.
Well, so anyway, we ended up getting a request to accept that property from St. Pat's Church. And then when we looked at it, we decided that it might be in the best interest to also vacate that portion of the property adjacent to that. There's, the right-of-way's not there, and I can tell you, because I went 1 through 8 to St. Pat's grade school, and that was a pedestrian path to all the kids that attended school to the south. That was the main ingress egress, and sometimes I lived back to the east, but on some days when we'd take a different route, we would come through there. And back in my day, that used to be a gravel path almost exclusively for the use of the school kids to come in and out of the playground parking lot that's behind the church and the school there. And so they've used it for all of these years. Now we're going to formalize it. They're going to take the bigger piece of property, and then we're going to vacate this portion of it and let them take care of it. And they've promised to us that they would take better care of that property than we did. When the
There's
city
not
owned
an
it.
alley there. That's strictly,
It's not really in the alley. It really was kind of a gravelly, muddy kind of a pedestrian path for most of the years, and
no
it-
one's losing access?
No.
None of that?
no.
Well, shouldn't that portion be mentioned size-wise in the vacation? You don't even mention that at all, that north-south alley.
The north-south alley. Not included. Oh, we're not in, so this picture's wrong with the blue on it?
Right, that was changed, altered later.
Okay,
So that's
off of consideration.
That's not going to be vacated then?
No.
Okay. So then basically what, the original size?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
50 by 55.5.
yeah. Okay, any other questions from the audience? Okay, hearing none, then a motion is in order for V-6-14.
We'll give it our blessing.
Second.
Call the order, please.
Mr. Cox?
Aye.
Mr. Rusnalis?
Aye.
Mr. Shatina?
Aye.
Mr. Walden?
Aye.
Mr. Kella?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next up would be approval of the minutes of last month's meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
A second? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any discussions or nays?
No,
Hearing none. Next up would be adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Thank you much. And with that, I just wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a
And a happy
safe,
New Year.
safe and healthy New Year.
Thank you.
There you go.
For some reason?
Pardon?
These guys here?